Yep, it's working.
You lied,
Pretty
man.
much.
All right. And we can get going. Welcome everybody to the Peirce Candidate Forum for LSC. I'm Matthew Ryan. I'll be your host for the evening. I'd like to thank all of you for making the time to stop by. Before we go any further, a couple of items that I want to mention. Number one, the time translation. For those of you who are in the audience that will need it. So thank you very much for your time here today. So we'll do a couple of things here. We need to draw the order in which the candidates' names are going to be on the ballot. Before we do that, I'd like to thank you all for coming. We have a full room here. It's great to see. And so next, as I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and draw the names of the candidates. We're going to go with the parents representatives, and then we're going to go with the community representatives. And again, that's the order that we're going to see on the ballots on March 18th. So my hand's too big, so that'll be fitting out. So that'll be good. Help us with that.
Yeah, I know.
One at a time. First, we'll go ahead and start. Amy Miller. Sonia Enriquez. Jean Kazigaba. Jess Tennessee. Sonia Brown. Eric Oakson. Carrie Sisman. Carlos Tyler. Elizabeth Turner. Carla Alomic. Oliver Binch. All right, so that will be the order again on the ballot, and we're going to publish that at the end of the session. The next is the community representatives. Mr. Roberto Angelar. Surprise, surprise. Who's the last one? Let's see. Lamont Lynn. All right. Well, thank you again. So the way we like to do this, so this is being recorded. What we try to broadcast this as much or advertise for this as much as we could. The idea is to get to know you as much as we can in the next hour or so. So each candidate is going to have 3 to 5 minutes. That includes your own personal statement, along with any questions that we may get from the audience. I don't want to put you all on the spot here. We did not receive questions through the Peirce LSC inbox, but through that 3 to 5 minute window, which I'll be monitoring, if folks want to raise their hand and whatnot, I can run over by you and get if you have any specific questions for any of the candidates. I hope that works for everyone. So I'm gonna try and make this as clear as possible. So, again, we're gonna go through the list, and I think if you wanna help me with that, the list, we're gonna go down all right, we're gonna go with Amy, and we're gonna have here, thank you. And
Thank you.
I can get going whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll just jump right in. Good evening to everyone in the room, and to the Peirce community, and to everybody online. Thank you for taking the time to come here and listen to us all talk about ourselves. My name is Amy Miller. Most people will know me by Mo. And I'll tell you a little bit about why I would like to represent you all on the local school council. I have been a Peirce parent since 2021 and have been continually wowed by the talent, the dedication, and the compassion I have encountered from all corners of the Peirce community. At Peirce, I currently serve on the Racial Equity Parenting Group Steering Committee, the Restorative Practices Working Group, and Panther Pathways. I have loved working collaboratively with other parent groups and the dedicated individuals here in Peirce. The more I learn about the time and effort that goes into creating this amazing environment, the more impressed I am and the more I feel called to serve my community. My career in nonprofit administration and as a small business owner, I believe gives me a firm foundation for the skills necessary to contribute meaningfully to the LSC. I spent my entire adult life just talking to people. I do a lot of that, and also, more importantly, to listening. Learning about people's lives, their needs, their ideas, in order to create new products, new systems, and new experiences. I have my own research consulting company, and I know how to analyze data, finding patterns in numbers and meaning statistics. I've worked with numerous local and national organizations, and I truly love making connections and building bridges that strengthen community. We have, and I really believe this, we have an extraordinary group of parents, teachers, and staff caring for our kids. And I care deeply about the future of Peirce, not just for my own child, but for everyone who calls Peirce home. As a parent representative, I will work my hardest to keep Peirce a place that focuses on equity, inclusivity, global education, and joy. Now, people want to ask me any questions. Fire away.
Questions from the audience? Yeah, in the interest of fairness, I want to give it a couple more seconds just in case. Also something else here. I'll take that.
Can we go on my last question?
No. So thank you very much, Mo. One thing that I wanted to mention, and I failed to do that earlier, so to give you a little bit of background, we have several candidates for 6 positions as a parent rep, and we have two candidates for 2 community reps. We also have candidates for teacher reps, so there are 2 of them, and two positions. And we also have a non-teaching staff position that's available. In addition to that, we also have a student rep position that's open. The students have had their own internal meeting or get-together forum to hear from the student candidates. We did vote as an LSC to allow any member or any candidate to participate, and we are welcoming both Adalis here as non-teaching staff to the forum. So thank you. I apologize for not bringing that up, but there was no, you're your goal. And so, just wanted to mention that on the teacher teaching side, they're going to have their own forum, if they haven't had it already, to go through that. So just wanted to make sure and mention it. So in terms of, yeah, so I was gonna do that next time, I'm gonna do the thing. And so, let's go ahead and start. So, yeah.
Hola, buenas tardes, and good evening, everyone. My name is Sonia Enriquez, along with my age. I am a proud Peirce parent, and my kindergartner has been at Peirce since pre-K3. Even though it's not a neighborhood school, we chose to make it our home. From the very first day, I felt the care, the corazon, and the sense that this is a place where families truly belong. I am a first generation Mexican and Salvadorian American, daughter of immigrant parents, and I grew up in a bilingual, multicultural household. And I'm also a CPS alum, so I know what it's like to be seen, heard, and feel like you belong. That is why I naturally connect with multilingual, multicultural families because that's my story. But my heart is for all families, todas las familias. Every child deserves respect, to feel supported and to know they belong no matter where they're from, what language they speak, or the story they carry. To me, this isn't about culture or background, it's about what makes us humans. Being involved in different spaces at Peirce has shown me just how important it is. This is, I served as president of the BAC last year, and I'm currently the vice president of the PSO, and I'm also a member of the Chicago Multilingual Parent Council, also known as the CMPC. Through these experiences, I have learned the power of listening, collaboration, and community, nuestra comunidad. This is my first time running for the LSC, and I'm excited to bring fresh perspective while continuing to listen and learn from you all. I don't pretend to know everything, no soy sabia, but I always try to listen and learn and build this bridges between families and the school. I care deeply about strengthening communication, supporting students' social and emotional well-being, and creating a welcoming environment where everyone feels included. Because inclusion also means making sure every student has real equitable access to tools and support they need. I also understand how important it is for families to feel safe asking questions and seeking support when their child may learn or process differently. When trust grows in our community, families are more confident advocating early. And that early support can make a lifelong difference. What matters most to me is community. When one child feels supported, when one family feels included, our whole community grows stronger. Thank you very much for being here and supporting our school. Gracias por escucharme y por dejarme compartir un poquito de mi corazón. Nuevamente, mi nombre es Sonia Enriquez, la de la H. Estoy aquí con ustedes, para ustedes, con orgullo y mucho cariño.
Thank you. So another item, since we're talking about the elections, the parents in the community, so community means folks that live within the boundaries of Mission to Peirce get to vote for the parent rep and the community rep. So there are 6 parent reps and 2 community reps. On the ballot, you can vote for up to 5 individuals. That's how it turns out, even though there are 8 votes that you can pick for the LSC. So again, up to 5 votes for that ballot to be valid. One thing that you can see on each candidate's, in front of each candidate's these orange forms. Those are for the election judges. If you would like to, if you would like somebody to come and help you be a poll watcher during the election, you can turn in these forms. Each form should have received at least 2 of these forms, so that folks can turn that in if they'd like to have somebody, a poll watcher during the election. And again, March 18th, there'll be a quiz at the end of this. So you know. All right. So the third is G, is right. So we then have a statement. And so what we would like to do is read the statement from a sheet. Yes, before I do that, were there any questions for Sonia? All right. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to turn the timer on. I want to contribute ideologically to my child's education. Anyone have any questions, please? And by the way, in terms of questions, if there are some, and that's also true for people that are on the broadcast, you want to send them to the Peirce LSC, we can coordinate with Luis and the administration to send those questions and distribute them to the parents. Okay. All right. Let's just, there you are. Ready when you are.
Let's do it. Hey y'all, I'm Jess Tansey. Public speaking is not my favorite thing, so I feel a little nervous. But I'm inspired to run for the LSC because I want to help solidify our school-wide commitment that every student feels seen, safe, supported, and engaged every day. I'm a parent of 2 Peirce students. We've been here since my oldest was in kindergarten, he's in 1st grade now. And my youngest is over at the branch in pre-K4. And I've kind of been around trying to get to know folks over the last few years. I've done a lot of different meetings. I really come to the LSC meetings. I come to BSO, I'm a room rep. I'm a member of the LSC Equity Committee. Thank you to everybody that came last week to learn more and be part of the restorative practices work. Thank you to Mr. Chad and everyone at Peirce for helping us organize that. Because I just think it's so important for families and the adults in the school to work together. And work together with our kids for their holistic development and for their learning. School is a really important space for me growing up. I had some tricky stuff at home, and it was a really safe place with really wonderful people where I could learn and grow. I'm the first in my family to go to college, and so school was just a place where I could go and get important things and be, grow important parts of myself. And I think it's so important that every kid gets that every day. I also work in education, so I've worked in education since I graduated from college, first in Boston and then in Chicago since 2010. And I get to see amazing work that happens across the city every day. And I know that it's hard work. I've worked in schools, folks give it their all. It takes a lot, and it costs a lot, while also having families of their own balance. And I just think it's so important to do that. I think also we're in a really important year with the principal. Thank you to our current LSC for all the work that went into finding Mr. Alderman. Thank you, Mr. Alderman, for joining us. And we just have so much important work to do. And the LSC has 3 important roles. The LSC across the city hires and fires principals. They approve the budget, and they work together with the school on a continuous improvement work plan. And I think if we together over the next couple of years can collectively get really clear, everybody knows what's happening at Peirce with the numbers and the stories, understand how we're going to continue improving, especially for students and families that are experiencing the most challenge or have concerns. including Black students and Black families, multilingual families, and students with disabilities, folks that maybe don't always feel that sense of belonging or sense of support every day, and understanding the role that we can each play in that. And understanding how we're going to work together to do that. So I think if we can do those three things, know what's happening, prioritize how we're going to continue improving, and figure out how we all can play a role in that, we'll be really successful together. Bring curiosity and collaboration, perspective from my work across those different pieces, and come to the LSC meeting, so I'll be here regardless. But if I can contribute some of my experience, my expertise, and my perspective, I would be happy to do that.
Any questions for this? Thank you very much. Thanks. So that's
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sonia Brown. I am a current LSC member, as I am part of the steering rep committee as well as the equity LSC committee. I have two children here. I have an 8th grader as well as a 4th grader. They're both at the audience right now watching mommy. I decided to run again for LSC because I feel like the work we did was so progressive. It gave me a better sight of things with Peirce. We have been like the old time since my kids were little, but getting here has been a wonderful opportunity to work on this committee sitting here. It gave me a long shot when we were selected. So that was the hardest piece of the campus days and being here when the school was out. But it was something that we did together as a team. All of us shared insights, our ideas, and being on this is just like gives you a sense of understanding from other lenses, where everybody has, different inputs, different concerns, but together we work through all of them. Now, I heard with these words is key for me, determination. And I say that because being part of the LSC is definitely going to take determination, meaning that you have to continue to remind yourself to be determined, stick it through. That means I'm just going to bed at 9 o'clock, so it's been a lot of times my eyes are suffering, just sitting through it. But we gotta be determined to stick it through and stay out. We talk about equity, inclusiveness, and including everyone. The fact that at this school, the Black seems to be a smaller portion here, it makes me feel good being here, because it's like a voice of representation for everyone else who I don't see, or just for the portion of Blacks. I'm here for every single student. In fact, a lot of the students probably know me at least around, or at least on my face, because I try to show up for a lot of trips, chaperone, volunteer, or I get extended. But I love it because it gives me a sense of belonging in the school. It makes me feel really good. Also, I don't just say things like, my children watching me do this. I'm on that, my 8th grade especially, like, you gotta have a voice, you gotta be the asset, you gotta make sure people hear you. You don't wanna feel left out, because they don't hear you, get left out. So me doing this is an excellent representation to my children, for them to see their moms here. Now, whether I get another term to stay, you guys have the confidence in me to see her again, that's okay. As long as you pick the people who you believe deserve to see here. And another word I would say is accountability. We all have accountability. All of us sitting here have accountability to the students. They are the most important people in this school. They know more, in fact, than we do about the school, because they sit here all day. They know a lot of things that we don't. So we owe this to all the children, so it's teachers and staff. It's just like a place we just come together, not just a budget. We hear other important concerns, so we collaborate together and we put it all together. It's just, it's good to be here, to stay here. I have fun on this one. I feel like anything you do, you still should have a little fun. You should want to do it, just not doing it just because it's something to do and get a spot. You gotta have it in you to want to do it. You gotta have that accountability, because sometimes we're looking to solve problems, right? Sometimes we can be part of the problem and not part of the solution. Sometimes it takes us to look inside ourselves to make sure we're doing this with a clear heart and a clear mind, and we're thinking of everybody, not just ourselves, and not just our children. So we can sit on this table with a clear faith that, granted, we may hear ideas, we may not, right? Because we're all different, so we all have different concerns, different backgrounds, but it doesn't matter, we still sit here and bring it to the table, and we navigate, we work together to make the same solution, because we're all fighting the same thing for better school, the students to feel safe, and for all these children to feel included. So we don't leave anybody out, because that's not really cool to leave kids out. So we want to make sure that all have a voice, they're all seen, for whatever reason, this is a place where we come together and work together.
Yeah. Any questions for Sonia? Yes, Eric, yes.
Alright, that's right. This is, there we go. Alright, hi everyone, my name is Eric. I am a returning, like Sonia Oliver, we were here last year. And I'll start by saying why here at Peirce? It's because of everyone who's here. When I look around and I see so many volunteers, and that's why I'm here. We're a community that comes together to work together to support our school. When my son was much younger, we had the choice to go to other schools, but we live in this neighborhood, and I said, I want to be part of the neighborhood, I want to be part of the community. I want to drive across the city. I don't want to go to a private school. Many of my friends have moved, and both said as soon as their kids got to school age, they moved from that. I have friends who, as soon as their schools went in, they went to, I go to a choice school, I go to select enrollment school, and I said, no, I want to be part of the community. And this is the community around here. I see people from many different places that I didn't know when I was a child. And this is it right here. You know, we're a community. And the other thing that I can offer is, as a returning member, I kind of understand how the wheels work, how the meetings work, things of that nature. And I do think it's very important that we have continuity. We worked really hard last year to get to where we are today. And as much as I could just hang my hat up and say, I put in a lot, I want to be able to make sure we have that continuity. It's hard in the first few months. That's really all I can say, other than if anyone wants to know my background. I did work as a vendor for CPS in the past. I've been in dozens and dozens of schools on the facility side, and I've seen every flavor of CPS. I'm very happy to be here, and very happy to see the group that we have volunteering in our community.
Any questions for Eric?
Here.
Here. Oh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Peirce, and I'm a parent here at Peirce. I have a child in both third grade and kindergarten. We have been at Peirce since my third grader started at the branch back in 2021. I'm running for the school council because I believe our school is a place where every student, teacher, staff member feels supported, challenged, and valued. Over the past few years, I've seen how much our teachers, the staff, the family care about our students. And I've also seen areas where we can strengthen communication and ensure that decisions reflect the needs of our whole community. And that's why I decided on for the council. So if elected, I really wanted to focus on 3 priorities. The first is around strong academic support for all of our students. Want to make sure that we can help those who need extra support, while also continuing to challenge the high achievers. The second thing is transparency, accountability, and communication. Families deserve clear information about decisions, about budgets, and policy changes. And the third is really just fostering a positive and inclusive school
culture where our students feel safe, they feel respected, and they feel prepared for their future. I believe we have to try and push politics on the school council to the side and focus on listening and collaboration. And I believe that the best outcomes happen when the parents, the staff, and the administrators work together with the same goals in mind. So I'd be honored to earn your support and serve our school community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, we're going to Carlos.
Oh, goodness, guys. Good evening, guys. My name is Carlos Hyde. I've been a part of Peirce community since my now 14-year-old was in preschool. I have children that is 32, 33. I used to be a part of the PTA, so I haven't really been a part of the LSC, but I'm interested because it's important to support students, and during our current climate, it's important that our children feel safe. I want to share a story with you guys because I think this is important to share. Last week, Sandy School got a class early for the walkout. And so everyone was in McDonald's, and there was a bunch of children who in, and they were all having a good time, but there was this one student that was sitting at home by himself. And so I watched as this one student was sitting home by himself. This one kid came from a group of kids, and so all of a sudden they got quiet. And so he walks over to the child that was sitting on his phone, and he mocked him. He made him feel, he made everyone laugh with this one kid. And I said there was some friends, and I watched this one kid. He took the time to get up and order. Everyone was eating with that one kid embarrassed. So I was so nervous, guys. I was like, man, this is a lot of teens. I really don't want to confront teens right now because you don't know what they're thinking. But also it's important that we speak up when children are being bullied. And I'm that person. So I walked to the group and I said to the kid that did it, I said, excuse me, I saw what you did to that one kid, and I did not like what you did. He said, well, I was just playing with him. I said, no, he was not. And you do not get to lie to me, you lied to yourself, but you did not do that to me, out of, to be kind. So I asked all the peers sitting around, I said, excuse me guys, do you all agree with what he just did? And believe it or not, everyone, they said, no, he was being mean. Now he's dead. One kid said, he was being disrespectful. Now he's looking at them, and we looking at each other, and he's sitting there. It's important that we speak up. It's important that we advocate. It's important that we keep them safe. And I'm that parent. I speak up for any child, including my own. I don't mind confronting, no matter how nervous I am, because I'm nervous now. I feel nervous now again. But I don't mind advocating for kids. I have a small business. I work with infants to 2 years old. I'm an active person in the community. Anybody in these stores around here know me. I mean, if I forget my wallet, I don't have to worry about it because, I make sure, I'm sorry guys, but I make sure I am known and speak up to everyone. So if you need anyone to be, representing your child, it will be me. And if you don't, it's okay. But I'm not afraid to speak up, guys. I'm going to advocate for your child. I'm going to face adversity because during this current climate, guys, it's important that we speak up. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Questions, comments? All right. Next.
I think to go. You need some more.
Hey, I go by Lindsay Turner. I have no idea why it's listed on the form. Nobody calls me that. Anyway, thanks for being here. I'm the parent of a 6th grader. Here's lovely back there, live here. Our family moved to neighborhood from Lincoln Square in 2024. So this is our first full school year at Peirce. Having experience at another neighborhood CPS school, I can say with great confidence that Peirce has an exceptional parent community. Our volunteer groups reflect a culture where families are not passive observers, but are active participants. It signals that people care deeply about our community. Strong communities, however, maintain a growth mindset and continuously examine themselves. Being a parent of a neurodivergent LGBTQ child has sharpened my awareness of how school policies function in practice. Navigating systems with a child whose needs are not typical changes how you see everything. That experience informs my commitment to students with disabilities, multilingual families, students of color, and any student who is vulnerable to being underserved when systems are not designed with that in mind. This year at Peirce, I've served on the rec steering committee, the family pathways MT, and the LSC equity committee. I've also served as a parent rep on both on LSC since 2023, participating in CIWP development, principal evaluation and contract renewal, and policy oversight. LSC service is not symbolic, it is real governance. Decisions made by LSCs directly affect student access, school climate, staffing, and long-term direction. That responsibility requires preparation, clarity, and a willingness to ask substantive questions while remaining committed to collaborative solutions. A critical part of representing the school community is making intentional efforts to hear from families whose voices are underrepresented. Not just those who are comfortable speaking at meetings, but families across racial, cultural, and socioeconomic backgrounds. That kind of outreach reveals something important, that physical engagement does not always mean an equitable experience. At Peirce, I've already heard from families who have not felt fully seen or included. Representation has to be intentional. If elected, I would prioritize ensuring that major decisions are informed by the full diversity of our community. That means identifying who is present in the conversation and who is not. It also means grounding decisions in data. Test scores are one indicator, but they're not the whole picture. We should be examining attendance patterns, disciplinary actions, access to enrichment, and measures of student belonging across demographic groups. When data is disaggregated, it allows us to evaluate systems transparently and identify where improvement is needed. I believe in collaboration with school leadership and staff. I also believe that collaboration and accountability are not in tension with one another. Restorative practices, equitable resource allocation, and transparent communication are not abstract values, they are operational choices. We are currently operating in an environment where families feel more uncertainty and strain than usual. In that context, local leadership matters even more, bringing thoughtful oversight, clear expectations, and consistent equity standards. So I'm ready because I believe Peirce can continue strengthening its culture of engagement while deepening its commitment to equitable outcomes for all students. Thank you.
Any questions? All right, comments?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hola. Hi to everybody that is watching. I think my name is. So, my name is Carla Rosales, and I have a daughter. She has been part of this school community since kindergarten, and now she's in 4th grade. So I'm running for the local school council because I was inspired by community members that always give a lot to others. In 3rd grade, my daughter hits on a stable ground. There were continuous changes at school, multiple teachers, disruptive routines, and when she came home and shared her struggles, honestly, some of the things that she described, I really couldn't relate, or I had a really hard time trying to connect with it. I didn't know what was normal, how to proceed, who to connect, so I hope for the best. However, this experience pushed me to get more involved, to reach out to the school, to reach out to the teachers, to connect with parents and parents associations. And as I did, I started to notice that this is a pattern that goes beyond the situation in my family. I didn't grow up in the US education system, and after 5 years, I'm still learning the landscape. the curriculums, the grades, who to reach out, when, calendars, and so on. And many, myself included in the past, were not sure when to ask questions, when to push back, or when to get involved. Not because we didn't care, the entry points are not clear, not obvious, and honestly, for some families, visibility is risk, feels risky. Our school does a wonderful job of communication and trying to include these families that are facing different situations, whether it's language, whether it's multiple drug, whether it's disabilities, and so on. However, sometimes translation is not enough. It's about navigating the system. And knowing words doesn't mean knowing the rules. So the more I talk to other parents, I realize that it's not only my experience. And then I thought, well, this is where I can be useful, right? Starting at the council level, and this is where my professional background connects with this work. I normally help organizations to understand how people interact with complex systems and I make them accessible. I have done these across Mexico, the Netherlands, and the US. So international is a lot of the experience that I've been. And I always ask the same question, how do we make this work for everybody, or how we can make it better? I am bilingual and I understand what it means to reach kids across languages and across cultures. And I'm here to listen, to understand, have curiosity, and to contribute where it matters. I will be honored to serve the local school council and to bring both my experience as a person and my professional experience in service of the alums of Peirce and the community in general. Okay, now I'm going to switch to Spanish. No me voy a repetir toda, porque tenemos la gran labor de nuestra traductora, pero sí quería que escucharan las familias que hablan español directamente de mí. Estoy aprendiendo cómo funciona el sistema, mientras crío mi hija aquí y respondemos a las situaciones que están pasando en la comunidad en estos momentos. Tengo experiencia haciendo que sistemas complicados sean más accesibles para todos y eso es exactamente lo que quiero hacer en Peirce para todas las familias. Gracias y bueno, pues.
Any questions? Take a deep breath.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oliver Dimich. I'm a parent of a second grader here at Peirce. She wants to be here, but she promised she'll be watching, so if she does. I've served at the LSC since September of 2024, so about a year and a half now. Let's talk a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in a small country in Europe, located north of Greece, called Macedonia. A fun fact about me, I played water polo for 11 years, and by the time I actually made it to the national team, ended up competing and winning a silver medal at the Junior Olympics in Denmark. Don't get excited, because the Junior Olympics is not a real thing, but it was a cool experience. All right. I came to the United States as an exchange student, and then ended up graduating from the University of Houston. This tells you that I'm one of the rare people that actually moved from Texas to Illinois. It's the other way around. People seeking more climate and these no state maps. Here in Chicago, I work as a risk analyst for an energy generation company. Another passion of mine is volunteering. Going back to my passion for water polo, I have coached children both in the Chicago Park District as well as Windy City water polo of Oak Park. Currently in my job, I host and run a book club focused on equity, diversity, and inclusion. The latest book we just went over, we read, it's called The Sum of Us. What racism costs everyone and how can we prosper together by Heather McGee. which was a staff member on the President Obama cabinet, so a great read and a different lens, different perspective of how racism is affecting all of us and not just one single group. When it comes to serving in the LSC, I'm a big advocate for anti-bullying. I have an older brother with needs, and although he was an older brother, I was a bigger brother, so I always was the one that needed to step in and protect them. So I take anti-bullying to heart. I've actively challenged the old administration here at Peirce, and I'm working with the new one as well to address discipline and bullying evidence that has been a problem in the last year for us. Additionally, as an LSC member, I feel like we went through some turbulent times, being left in the middle of the school year without a principal. So I worked with my fellow LSC members to do principal, Mr. Avila, and although we're still early into his journey, I feel like we are, as peers, we're very much calm waters now. I'm very honored to have served in the LSC, and if elected, I'm also looking to continue building our great school and our great community. Thanks.
Thank you. You're gonna go over here.
Hello, families and friends. Peirce here, and I'm the beautiful world. Thank you so much for hosting. It is great to connect with everyone. I'd like to just take a quick moment to thank Principal Avila, the current Peirce LSC, and Sally for organizing today's events and for keeping us informed about the LSC events. And I had some prepared remarks, but listening to everyone here has really inspired me about how incredibly thoughtful leaders everyone is at this table is. And it would be an incredible honor for me to serve with you. More importantly, it's incredible to have as a neighbor. So thank you. You have incredible, thoughtful, talented people who want to serve the Peirce community and continue to build a stronger, better school that truly is a place for everyone. A little bit about me. I am Roberto Menila, and I am seeking your support as a candidate for the community representative on the Peirce Local School Council. I strongly support neighborhood schools and believe in a community school approach that brings educators, families, students, and community stakeholders together to foster engaging learning environments with opportunities and resources for every student to succeed. As a proud parent of a CPS graduate and now studying at the University of Michigan and the product of public schools, I've had an opportunity to serve both on our elementary and high school local school councils. And in my role as an LSC member, I've worked with school leaders and student organizations to support student voice and engagement. I've worked with student groups to revise the dress code and enforcement policies to protect student civil rights. I've worked with student groups and school counselors to expand the opportunities for students to take advanced placement courses and accelerated programs. I've worked collaboratively with school leaders and LSC members on important matters such as the school budget, student achievement growth, instructional needs, health and safety, and after-school programs. I believe my involvement has made an impact on promoting fairness and opportunity for all students and helping create a school community that is vibrant, full of possibilities, and inspires wonder. Over the past 6 months, I have regularly attended and actively participated in the Peirce LSC monthly meetings. And during these meetings, I've listened attentively as the Peirce student representative on the current council voiced concerns about various school policies, including those related to the bathroom, backpack, and the lunchroom. And recognizing the importance of students' perspective, I encourage both the principal and the LSC to engage directly with students and address their concerns. And at this past LSC meeting, the student representative and Principal Avila jointly announced a compromise that balanced the school's safety priority and the need to honor student voice. And that's what's important, is making sure that we are honoring students' voice, we're taking into account their perspective, their experiences, and understanding the school's needs, and understanding the resources that we can provide, that the school can provide, to ensure that we're honoring those students. At the Peirce State of the School, I encourage the principal and the LSC to look at the on-track student group and the Illinois Assessment of Readiness for English language arts and math data closely and address the achievement gaps. And I believe that the current LSC should look at those data points, and the LSC that takes their seat in July should look at those data points and work with the principal to develop strategies and practices to address those achievement gaps. You know, I think that it's important, right, that the LSC examine this information, the data that we have access to, those data points, but understand the students' experiences, understand the students' stories, and understand the family stories and where they're coming from, and meet those families and those students where they're at. So based on my experience with school councils and educational initiatives, I'm prepared to contribute to the Peirce LSC through collaboration and constructive conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. When the distance.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. So, I said, I'm used to saying it. Some of you guys know me, I'm on the community, current community rep, co-chair of the equity committee as well. Some things about me, I was asked in 2023 to join the LSC. I didn't know what the LSC was about. I just thought it was like almost like a PTA meeting on steroids, and we're just gonna hang out and talk about speeding cars on Ridge and all of that stuff. But in my first few meetings, I learned it's more important than that. It's about creating a community, especially within the school, investing in students, investing in the teachers, and creating a space where everyone is heard and have like equitable stakeholding and investment. So fast forward, after a long, arduous summer, we found and selected a new leader, and then I was picked again to find the assistant principal. So now the experience has grown, and I feel like there's still work to be done. That's why I'm standing here back today. I feel like I am the product, I grew up in Edison, so I am the product of a neighborhood school. I am the product of good investment into teaching and good investment into students. So I feel like this is a full circle moment for me to continue because representation matters. I don't know who's watching. There's 2 kids here, there's a few kids here, but representation matters. You don't know how much influence you actually do have. So thank you.
Any questions? Okay. Cool.
I can stand too. Hi, I am Nicole Papadopoulos, your children, John and Mr. Papadopoulos. I'm running for the non-teacher staff position. So you can't vote for me, but I did want to participate tonight just because I wanted to hear from you and have the parents have a chance to hear from me. Also, my position is uncontested, so I will be there, so I want to see who I'll be working with and get to know them. So I'm running for LSC because I want to collaborate with my community to serve our school. Bring that unique perspective as a staff person. I worked with pre-K all the way up to 8th grade in various roles such as a SECA, or special education classroom assistant, a lunch coach, and also now in the school library. I've been in the school library full time, but now I'm full time as the school library assistant. We do not have a school librarian. CTU is fighting for one in our school, but because Chicago public schools don't have the budgets we deserve, most schools don't have a librarian. But I do what I can as a library assistant to ensure that students have books that they want to read. I support our LGBTQ students by volunteering on the GSA, which is the Gender and Sexuality Alliance. I serve on the sanctuary team to protect all students who are impacted by ICE, and I facilitate the after-school library club. If I am elected, which it seems like I will be if I get one vote, I will actively seek input from all of my coworkers, including those often not involved in LSC meetings, who also see a lot that sometimes the teachers and also parents and others might not see. The SECA's school assistants, counselors, nurses, coaches, cafeteria, and facility staff, and of course the teachers. I think everyone holds a very valuable perspective on different aspects of the school, and all staff should be supported in respect of their work. And I will also pay very close attention to recommendations from our student voice groups, as the students are the reason that we are all here. Every year since I've been here, I have surveyed the whole student body on their feelings about the library, what books they want to see purchased in the library, policy changes to the library. So student voice is something that I've been trying to cultivate every way I can since I've arrived, and will continue to do so in the LSC. About me, my past experience includes admin assistant, union organizer, Planned Parenthood, and restaurants. I volunteered with the Ohio Women's Alliance to ensure people across the U.S. can access reproductive care, and I'm currently taking classes to become a school librarian. Thank you for considering me as a candidate.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, so we have two more statements from our teacher representatives. One from Jerry Baumgarten. My name is Jerry Baumgarten. I've been teaching for almost 22 years, and I've been at Peirce for 13 years. I love this community, and I've watched Peirce grow and change over time. I feel that teacher voice is extremely important, and teachers need to be represented by an individual that is experienced, invested, and has their best interests in mind. This has been my home for many years, and I plan to stay until retirement. I want to make sure that Peirce continues to be an amazing school and a place where teachers feel valued, heard, and respected. Next statement from Bridget Fabianski. As a veteran staff member, I hope to be a strong voice for the teachers, making sure their voices are represented and considered when the LSC makes decisions that affect the school community. I want to thank all of you again for making time. Yes. Great. Thank you. She was my oldest of this kindergarten teacher as well. Again, thank you so much, all of you, for joining. So a couple of things that I want to mention again to reiterate what I said in my policy, this is competitive. There are candidates for 6 positions as parent representatives, 2 positions as community representatives that we can vote as parents in the community for. The ballot will allow you to vote for up to 5 individuals combined. So in terms of timing, candidates have the opportunity to share materials with the administration. I think the deadline is March 3rd, so that information can be shared throughout the school community. And again, the election will be taking place on March 18th, is report card pickup day. So if there are any questions, Peirce LSC at gmail.com. With that, unless there are any other questions, again, big round of applause for our candidates here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to also thank the candidates. Let's give them a big round of applause for being here and truly wanting to represent our school community, to bring our school forward. Making sure that we're they're inclusive, that we're equitable, which, is a very big thing for me. I want to make sure that all students are heard, because that's what we're here for. We're here for the kiddos. We want to make sure that we have a school that's thriving and that we provide them the quality education that they deserve. So I thank you all for being here, and I look forward to working with the new next LSC, and thank you all for coming as well.
Thank you, everyone. All right, I gotta turn it on.